Hello everyone, and welcome to Shadowland Theatre's Bird Shadow Puppet Workshop. So today we're going to find out how to make a bird shadow puppet, or 2 or 3 if you so wish, as part of the Toronto Bird Celebration. This is a collaboration between Shadowland Theatre and Birds Canada, so we're very happy to welcome you today. My name is Anne Barber from Shadowland, and I'm going to show you the step-by-step process on your shadow puppets. What is a shadow puppet? Well, sometimes you might just, even with your hands, make a puppet against a wall with a light shining through them. So basically, shadow puppets are when a shadow is cast because of the light not being able to go through an object or a silhouette. So we're looking at very strong shapes that will be illuminated once they're lit from behind. The first puppet that I'm going to show you how to make is going to be one that doesn't have any moving parts, but surprisingly can still look like it's flying. Now, part of this project is so that we can help you find out a bit more about birds as part of the Toronto Bird Celebration. And if you look through any bird identifying books or on the internet, quite often they will give you an outline or a black silhouette, which is like a shadow, just the black outline of the bird. And that gives you a lot of information about what kind of bird it is, what its feathers are like, its flying pattern, and some interesting information about maybe what kind of food does it like. Does it like seeds or worms or flies or whatever? So there's a lot of information you can gather just from researching in a bird book. But maybe you have your own favorite bird to choose from. So whichever one you go for, go and find an image of the bird that looks very much like a silhouette, so you can get a strong outline. Now on Shadowland's website we have some bird outlines. So here we have a drawing of the outline of a blue jay. And that's the one we're going to start with today to do the first puppet, which has no moving parts. What you're going to do is going to take your outline and draw it onto a piece of Bristol board or card of some kind. Ideally it should be plain, like brown, black or white Bristol board. You can see I'm using a bit of both, and I'm going to go between black Bristol board and white Bristol board just to show you during this workshop. So you're going to put your bird outline onto your card, and again you could use a cereal box if you want, but try and work on the brown side, not the pattern side. You're going to draw around the outline of your bird. Now if you have a paper cut out, then you could use something like a strong pointed pen that you press in through your outline, and that would show you how it comes on the other side. Or just freehand your drawing if you want. So here I've drawn all the way around my bird outline, and then I'm going to cut it out. Of course I've cheated a bit and I've already cut some of this out, but I just want to show you, in a bird that for instance has a lot of feathers like this, it's very good to cut out from the outside in, rather than trying to turn your scissors around in a complicated way. So like this, and you can see I'm just going to get the rest of the bird. You'll get nice feathery outlines if you cut this way. And like that, nearly done. Oh. And there we have our bird outline. Here. Okay, so get rid of the extra card, and now you see I've got the bird outline, but it's very plain at the moment if you look at it like that. So with shadow puppetry especially, you want to have a little bit more detail so that the bird kind of comes to life. One of the first things to do that would be the eye. And the eye, I'm going to use a knife for this because it's much easier for the little details to use a knife. So either if you need help with a knife, get someone to help you, or just be careful, keep your hands and fingers away from the blade. So I'm going to cut out a little eye there. Now, just to make it more interesting, I'm going to cut out some of the details that you will see on the bird, just so that it looks a bit more feathery. You can see, and the light will shine through all of these sections so that it gives a bit more texture rather than just being a flat outline. So basically I'm just doing small slits that will show some feathering. You don't want to do them too big, you just want a little bit of light to go through, because if you do them too big, you're in danger of losing some of the strength of the puppet. So I'm going to take our little bits out like that. So it's up to you how much you want to do of that. You could do some in the tail feathers, for instance, just to give it a little bit of life. There we go. So now we have our cut out bird. It's got its eye and a few little feathery items. So then you're just going to take something like a skewer or a piece of dowel, something like that, and add that with a bit of tape onto your bird. You can use clear tape or masking tape, one or the other works fine. And you're going to place the stick along the length of the bird, press it down firmly, and there you have your bird puppet. Off it goes, like that. Now, if you want to get a bit more interesting, you can do several moving parts. So the next part of this workshop is to show you how to do that. So now we have our blue jay puppet. We're going to put that to the side, and we're going to make a slightly different puppet this time. I have chosen for today to do a Blackburnian warbler, and that's one of the most beautiful small birds that we have that comes into Toronto and Ontario. So for this, you can see I've already cut out the body of the bird. Now, instead of just cutting out what would be the shape of the bird going around the whole thing with the wing, you can see I've cut out the wing quite separately. And the other thing is that you can see an overlap. The overlap is very important if you're going to get any sense of movement, because you have to make a joint that goes through the one and joins the other together. So the trick with that is to make something that goes through both of the holes that I've made there. So I'm making a little hole at one part of the bird and going through to the other part. There are various ways you can make this joint depending on what you have at home. So for instance, I could use just this needle and thread. Now I'm going to poke the needle through and tape it on one side. That's on the wing section, and then tape it on the other section. And you can see now I have a moving joint. I will show you another technique with this. What might you have at home that will work? Let's see, we'll remove this one, and maybe you have paper fasteners from another project. And those you can go through, again, you're going to go through one side and right through to the other and open it up. There you have a nice moving joint as well. Just for a bit of extra fun, I'm going to add in some legs. Now, these will just help the bird to look more like it can be perching or something. So another technique I often use is to use a twist tie for this particular joint. So again, you've poked the holes through both the legs and the bird body, and you're taking the twist tie, here it is, poking it through one part of the bird. Then what I often do is twist the twist tie into a little stopper there so that it stops it from going right through the card. That will hold it in place. And I'm going to poke it through the other leg section, turn it over, you can see on the other side there, and I'm going to twist that one around as well. And then you have a little bit of a moving joint there. It's very handy if you want your puppet to do something like peck the ground for worms or seeds. Now that I have these two moving parts, we're going to have to add the sticks so that we can make them move. So you always need, for a shadow puppet, a stick on the main part of the body. So I'm going to put my stick, the stronger stick, on the main part of the body. Now this time, rather than the flat technique that I used before, this time I'm going to take the stick, I'm going to hold it a little bit away from the puppet and use the tape and pinch it on so that the stick is actually not flat against it but has a bit of movement and it is sticking out from the puppet a little bit, like this. The other stick is going to be used for the wing. And we're going to do something of the same idea. Again, take the tape, pinch it so that it's not flat against the puppet, and there we have our moving part. There we go. So now we've made all of our bird puppets. They're looking beautiful. We've added the sticks. So now I'm just going to show you how to operate the birds against your screen. So I'll bring in the screen that I have here, and you can see I've stretched a piece of old sheet against a frame. So you can do that, as I can be across a door frame or some other kind of structure. The tighter you can get the cloth, the better, because when you do the shadow puppetry, you want to use the friction of the screen to press your bird puppet in. One, you'll get a better crisp image on the other side, but two, it also helps you to move your bird around. So there's our blue jay that just has the one stick, and here flies in our Blackburnian warbler. Oh, it spotted something nice on the ground, I'm sure. Oh, there it goes, puts its wing down. And again, I'm pressing against the screen here. Oh, it's found something very nice to eat on the ground. Great. And off it flies again. And again, I'm using the screen so I can press against it so the bird comes out. And here's a great treat at this time of year when the hummingbirds come in. And they move their wings very, very fast, so that actually the bird body stays quite still and the bird will move its wing. You could also make scenery behind your screen, branches or leaves, that kind of thing, just to give your whole shadow puppet show a little bit more detail. So happy Toronto Bird Celebration, everyone. Hope you enjoy making your shadow puppet birds.